Hello everyone, and welcome to Drews on Movies, inaugural edition. Now, I'm Drew Wilson. Joining me via satellite, my partner, the lovely Mr. Drew Wilson.
Hey Drew, loving that beard, buddy.
Thank you, Drew. Now this is a program where we're going to review the latest that cinema has to offer us. And today we're starting out with the Rian Johnson action vehicle Looper.
I believe you mean Ballistic X versus Sever.
No, I believe you mean Mr. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Looper.
No, I watched Ballistic X versus Sever. Johnny X. This guy.
Alright, well let's just watch it right now, together, and we'll be right back with our review. So welcome once again to Drews on Movies. We've just seen Looper, the story of a man who goes back in time only to have to elude murder by his former self. Now, there are several scenes in this film of the main character trying to learn French, which I think is fitting because this was c'est magnifique.
Well, I hope that's Francais for confusing, because that's what I thought this movie was.
Now, time travel can be hard to follow in many films. However, I thought it was pretty straightforward here, Drew. People are sent back 30 years to kill someone, and then they, in turn, 30 years down the line, are sent back to be killed themselves. Literally, in a loop.
Right, well I don't even want to get into that. Look, basic things about this didn't make sense. Like, the last time we saw the boss guy, he was real dumb, you know? He was like going to Colorado with his other dumb friend, and now we're supposed to believe that he's the leader of a whole criminal organization?
And what you're talking about is Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber. This is a completely different character.
I'll say it is bad continuity. I mean, I know people get smarter with age, but...
Well, in theory anyway. Now, let's discuss the plot a bit further. So Mr. Gordon-Levitt's character is tasked with killing men from the future, but one day, the man from the future is none other than himself in the form of Mr. Bruce Willis, who escapes in order to go after someone from the past himself.
Yeah, so I guess Looper is trying to kill his dad, right? But his dad is like way better than him, and then he's all killing people.
No, it's not his dad, it's him from the future. And he's going after the man who's responsible for the death of his future, current to him, wife, getting him while he's just a young child.
Well, he's not a kid, he's Bruce Willis age. And, I mean, Looper's not really a kid either. I mean, it's his kid.
No, he's not his kid, it's him. And the character's name is not Looper, it's Joe. Now, the screenwriter didn't have to travel far to get to that, admittedly.
Oh, right, Joe. Yeah, he kind of looked familiar to me, actually.
He's in a lot of films. In demand right now.
No, he looked kind of like this kid I used to know when I was younger. Yeah, this neighborhood kid. Actually, it's pretty crazy, man. I think he was an alien.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Drew, that was not your friend, but the television program Third Rock from the Sun.
No, you're mistaken. It's, yeah, there's a kid I know. I never used to watch TV. It's definitely my friend. Yeah, we were always kicking it around the neighborhood. We like throwing tennis balls at cars. Oh man, it was good times.
Anyway, Rian Johnson really created a world for this film, both visually and viscerally.
I'm gonna kill him!
You had the grit of urban decay where the gangsters roam the streets, juxtaposed with the tranquility of a farm where Ms. Emily Blunt is raising her young child. And a unique boy he reveals himself to be.
Now, this little guy I liked. He was all like, don't get me pissed or I'll trip out and blah blah. Start sending shit flying everywhere. Oh, this kid was a mouse.
Yes, what you're alluding to is that this film not only contains the element of time traversing, but also that of telekinesis, which one may presuppose is a lot to jam into one film, but I think it really worked here.
Yeah, you're damn right it worked there. Now, I've not been having much luck over here. I mean, I've been trying to flow this quarter, like ever since the movie ended, but this guy won't budge on me. Kid was mad talented. Anyway, I can practice that later. Right now it's time for my joke of the day. Today's joke. Looper. I hardly even know her. Now, you want us to loop that? Her? We want to know each other? What?
Well, now that we've gotten your vulgarity out of the way, it's time for my witticism of the evening. A lot of artists have trouble conveying time travel in a believable yet entertaining fashion, but auteur Johnson was H.G. Wells up to the task.
Oh, and another thing. So the size of this popcorn they're giving you at the movie theaters. I can't even eat all this. I mean, look, there's starving children in Africa. They can't even eat all this.
Sorry I didn't catch that. I was still chuckling at my own bon mot. Now, it's time for our criticism corner. Now, my critique is going to be the makeup. They tried to make a Mr. Gordon-Levitt look like he was going to grow into a Bruce Willis, which they did to some effect, changing his nose and whatnot. I thought they could have made a Mr. Bruce Willis look a little bit more like a Gordon-Levitt.
Well, now that I realize that Bruce and Looper were the same guy, my criticism is that, I mean, so like he kills himself in his body, then he dies, except he doesn't really die, he just kind of like disappears. I mean, I just like more realism in my pictures. I mean, I don't know, you can't kill yourself like that in real life. I mean, you can't have a conversation with yourself in real life.
Well, Drew, that's something we can agree on. Alright, time for our final judgments. Now, I'm going to give this film 1 Drew. Now, I probably won't be looking for it when award season rolls around, but for a September release, this is a good outing at the cinema. 1 Drew, way up. On a rector Drew, if you will.
Okay, well this is just gonna be a half a Drew for me. Didn't really care much for it, it's too confusing. But I did like that kid, he was badass. And the main guy reminded me of my old friend, the alien.
That was not your friend, it was Gordon-Levitt on television.
Was my friend. We'd throw tennis balls at cars around the neighborhood, and we'd hang out with these other 2 girls in the neighborhood. Like, they were twins, right? I think they had like an Uncle Jesse. And then there was this other chick, she was a teenage witch, and then... And I would like to move in just a little bit closer. All I know is that to me, you look like you're lots of fun. Open up your loving arms, watch out, here I come. You spin me right around. around, baby, right around. Like a record, baby, right around, around, around. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Like a record, baby, right around, around, around. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Like a record, baby, right around, round, around. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Like a record, baby, right around, around, around. Was be going over to my friend Sean's house. So he was real poor. He actually lived in a trailer, you know. And we would chill with my girl Topanga. She was real cute. And yeah, like it's crazy. One time we all went to go find the aggro crag.